My mother told me, be careful who you associate with because, your associates are kind of they do actually sort of tell people more about your morals, perhaps, or what am I trying to say? I've got an interesting one. Now, I'm meant to be doing a video about Roy Conacher, which I usually call Roy Conacher. Con Archer. He has been liquidated by the courts in South Africa, which is a victory. And he was asking for an extension of the court dates, claiming that he was stressed and needed another 60 days. And thanks to myself and my Avengers, their lawyer stated that he's still promoting a Ponzi scheme and scam after he's stolen millions of dollars from people to this day. Because of that reason, the court said, nope, you've had long enough to be prepared for the court case, and they've liquidated his company, which is a victory. But I'm going to do a video about that later. But remember, you heard this here first. But anyway, I'm looking at some photos that have come in from the internet, and I'm just sitting here looking at some of the work that I do. Now, this is a pretty dangerous line for me to work on because I'm going to associate somebody who associates with Goliath Ventures and also two brothers or twins. I don't know if you call them twins, do you? But they're twin who have been accused of heinous acts against females. And you might have listened to a few things I've said, and currently, we've got 120 people on my database, what I call persons of interest. And of course, no one's guilty just simply because they're on my person of interest. But normally you can link one person to another person. Now, just imagine that you've had two of your friends that you used to hang out with and have a drinky with have been accused of drugging women and raping them. 60 women have come forward accusing the Alexander brothers of rape. Okay, 60 women. Now, whether that's true or not, it's all, they've got lots of money, so I'm sure they can fight their way through courts trying to prove their innocence. But they have got a lot of women that have come forth and said that definitely happened. Then you've got a picture of another individual, which I'm about to show you, arm in arm with the two brothers, like they're best mates out on the town drinking. Or maybe they just met up at a local bar and they just happened to know each other. And they just said, hey, let's do a selfie. Imagine having that photo. Next minute, you're on a Learjet and you're on your way to Mykonos with another guy that's been accused of running a $300, maybe $400 million Ponzi scheme. We don't exactly know because Christopher Delgado will not show anyone the books for his company. Over here, photos with people that have been accused of the most heinous acts ever. Over here, another person has been accused of running a large-scale Ponzi scheme. Now, my research, my reputation, my everything, my last 8 weeks of my life have been proving to people that have invested in Goliath Ventures Inc. that it is a Ponzi scheme and a scams. Now, just recently, I think in one day, crypto took a crash of $380 billion, billion with a B. And all of a sudden, there's going to be an investors meeting on the 23rd of October. I'll get it right. Now, we are fortunate enough because I don't believe he'll have the balls to run that meeting because we have full access to that meeting and we'll be telling you what actually happened in that meeting because we've got investors who are actually providing us enough intel and we've got inside knowledge of what we are doing. So we can tell you that Christopher Delgado isn't doing any crypto investments. He isn't doing any liquidity pool trading. He isn't doing any crypto mining, and he certainly doesn't know the arse end of the blockchain. So probably your Ponzi scheme money's quite safe. However, unfortunately, my knowledge, I got nicknamed the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger by having a 2-page spread in the New York Times. I don't really know too much about crypto, but I do know a lot about Ponzi schemes and scams. Now, it's really simple. New investors pay the old investors. Now, if you were an old investor, you would be sitting there at the moment going, I'm doing so well, because you've got a lot of friends of influence and you tell everyone about how well your investment's doing. For example, one person in the medical profession, we've tracked 16 people who have also gone down that rabbit hole of investing in Goliath Ventures because their mate did it. So their mate that did it is well looked after. He will keep getting paid because he's got 15 people to feed him money to keep his investment alive. So if a friend complains, then it goes through the same process, and all of a sudden panic. So at the moment, we know first-hand knowledge that people have their funds pending. We also know that they have been charged fees that they never told that they were going to get by having their money on their platform. We also know that they have taken the login button off their homepage, and unless you've got a good memory, you won't know how to log in to see how your investment's doing. On the 23rd of October, they're running an investors meeting, and you have to be verified to get in there because they don't want anyone like me broadcasting or recording that meeting. But that's exactly what's going to happen. So, like to be a fly on the wall? Well, that's what we do. Now, I've spent hours on this. Just 1 hour before I went live, I got my 5th copyright strike in a week. Now, I haven't copied anyone's content. That's not what I do. They are doing fake copyright strikes against my YouTube channel, trying to bring it down. Now, do your research. Do a search on how many copyright strikes that you can get before your YouTube channel disappears. It's 3. I've got 5. So what am I doing here? How come I'm still alive? Well, I'm not saying I'm invincible. However, people realize that we've currently got 6 government agencies investing Goliath Ventures Inc. And we still get what I believe are idiots who think this is still a good investment opportunity. Very few, actually. I haven't heard of anyone actually investing, even though I have heard there's quite a few people that are still trying to recruit. We get a lot of intel coming in. Now, I've just got a whole lot of photos in, and I've done the right thing as a journalist, and I've written to the person who I see in these photos, and I've asked them for what their connection is with Christopher Delgado or Goliath Ventures Inc. And also, I started researching this person's company, trying to find out what type of business they're running. And I want to take you on that journey with me. So let's go to our screen here and let me show you my thumbnail. That should bang up in a hurry. There it did. Hopefully we'll be clear enough. We've got Joel in there with a couple of eyes. He's looking. It's good to see you, mate. Put your eyes across the top of the screen. So the people in the photos this is what I'm trying to figure out. And I'm asking you guys to help me. I want to find out whether there's a connection with, I've forgotten his name, with Romi. I'm going to have to get it read. Let's have a look.
Romi Mawardi.
Romi, I had to call him Romi. I think I'll call him Romi because he's roaming around. And also the Alexander brothers, well, twins. And then we've got this photo, which you can see down the bottom here, and we've got what I call the bottle spinning guy, Christopher and Romi. I've forgotten who the guy is with the XXX t-shirt is, and they're all about to get on a plane to go to Mykonos. So what I'm thinking is, what is the connection? Is there a connection? There may not be a connection, and I'm not saying there is a connection. But as I said at the beginning of this video, my mum said, be careful who you associate with. Now, would you be happy to have a photo of 2 guys that have been accused of doing heinous acts to women, drugging women and having their wicked way with them, and then hanging out with somebody who's also been accused of running the biggest Ponzi scheme that I've ever investigated? Let me show you what the rabbit hole I went down. First of all, we went to Isaac's Isaac is the guy that spins the bottle on his head. So this is the same plane that they got on, and this was a trip to Mykonos. And I'm pretty sure that everyone that went on that trip and had their photo taken wishes that never happened. So we're going to have a look. I'm trying to find a date. This is on the 13th of August. These photos were uploaded. Next thing is, here we go. So we've got Romi, Christopher Delgado, and also we've got Isaac and some other random guy, which I don't actually know. And no doubt you probably will know. So put it in the comments section of this YouTube video. And also, people often wonder what my motive is. Well, if you do subscribe to the YouTube channel, that's fantastic. But if you join my YouTube channel by hitting the join button underneath this video, you can actually help support me. A lot of people literally have offered me large sums of money for my work, and I don't like taking it, I'll be honest. So what I'm asking you guys to do is to join my YouTube channel. You can pick a level of support that you can afford that doesn't break the bank balance, and it will help me do this on a full-time basis. And often I say to people, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm actually happy to clean the screen on your computer. And this is Sadie, the cleaning lady, and she's very good at her job, and she loves her job. She doesn't actually get paid for it, but she likes helping me out. So here we are. We're all on a trip to Mykonos. So this is, last time I researched this, these bottles here are these tequila bottles, and I don't know what they cost, but if anyone knows what they cost, we did a bit of research, and I think they were wholesaling at like $250 a bottle. So we know that they'll have a corkage fee and a nightclub fee on top of that. I reckon they are worth $1,000 a bottle. Because we counted up about $32,000 worth in a round of drinks. And we heard from people that Christopher can actually blow $100,000 a night on alcohol. That's a lot of money. However, so here we go. Now, I don't know the guy with the curly hair in the background, but I would like to know who he is. Because we are looking for everyone's associates. Because these people hang out in the same circles. It's not rocket science. We've seen them. We've gone through hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of looking through people's Instagram photos. This guy here, I don't know him either, but he's got a lovely hairy chest. But I presume he's somebody. Don't know. He may not even have anything to do with Christopher. He may not have anything to do with the Alexander brothers. We don't know, but there's often an overlap. And this is why we ask the public to help us. Don't know these people, but this guy is certainly around. They obviously went to a concert. It looks like AC/DC concert, one of those good ones. Remember that guy coming out in the shorts singing Thunder? Thunder! One of my favorite songs ever. All right, but we do know that Romi, this girl, I don't know, from a bar of soap, and this is Mykonos. So that was all right. We got to here, and then we see the photo of them all in the Learjet. Now, we did ask Romi what he was doing there, and he said, and first of all, when I show this photo the first time, I get this random email from somebody, and I only can assume it's from Romi. I said, I see my name is on your YouTube video. I was invited guest. I was an invited guest for a trip. I am not affiliated with Goliath. I'd like my name removed if you wouldn't mind. Look, mate, you're in a Learjet with a guy that's running one of the biggest Ponzi schemes and scams in America, or at least Florida. And we've got Alex here, which he's not a bad guy, actually. He's been very helpful. Thanks, Alex. And he was actually Christopher's personal trainer. He got fired and then he got rehired. And I don't know about you, but do you know many personal trainers that can afford to pay $350,000 for a Lamborghini? I don't either. All these people in here, let us know. Now, I think the guy at the door, he's not the pilot. I think he's their maybe security guy. I don't know. But let's name and shame these individuals if they are involved. But at very least, let's eliminate them from the picture by telling us that these guys have no association. So Romi has sent me an email basically telling me he was just invited to go on a boys' trip. But, you know, what really freaks me out a lot, is why is Romi also invited to hang out with these guys? I want to know. What's his connection to these guys? Because these guys have got some very serious accusations against them. So let's carry on. So here they are on the plane. I don't know who that is. He's got a Rolex. Don't know who these guys are. I'm not saying they're associated at all. Hello, Susie. Nice to see you here. I'll put your name up on the board so we can spin you across the top. Looks like a beautiful place. Now, I have been to Mykonos. Now, Mykonos made me laugh, actually, because I got on a boat one night from Greece. Didn't like Athens myself. Finished up in Mykonos. And then I was told that I should have gone to Santorini. But I still like Mykonos. I thought it was pretty cool. But the Mediterranean Sea is just beautiful. Waking up in the morning after getting there at 2 o'clock in the morning and waking up and open the wooden blinds of your white house with the blue roofs and you just see the Mediterranean Sea. It's the most beautiful ever. But unfortunately, I couldn't afford to have a nice swimming pool like that in the place I stayed in. I stayed with families. So here's to more people. So if you can help us out with knowing who these people are, would be great. I just want to eliminate them. I don't really worry about the lady who's got her chest half hanging out. But there is a lot of these pretty girls hanging around these guys. And, like, as I said, they've got some pretty serious accusations being thrown at them at the moment. No one wants to, I feel sorry for some of the ladies because we're going to play a couple of videos that I watched of ladies confessing what actually happened to them with the Alexandra boys. And I'm just going to say bad association is not a good idea. But this photo here, is really interesting because we've got quite a few different people in here. And obviously Romi's in here again. So he looks more, to me, he looks like more than just somebody who was, hey, we've got a spare seat in our jet. We're going to Mykonos. Do you want to come along? Oh, sure, I'm available. I don't know what his involvement is. I do realize he's something to do in the hospitality industry, so there may be a connection there. Who knows? Here's the spinning bottle guy, and he was going to spin that bottle on his head. It's very talented. As I said in one of my other videos the other day, when I used to have a few drinks, I could actually do a handstand on my head and scowl a pint of beer. That was my thing. Christopher showing off his operation, his lipo stuff. What are they? Where they suck out all your... Anyway, let's just not go there. But they're all having a great time, and there's nothing wrong with having a great time. Don't get me wrong. But who are these individuals? I mean, this is the man here. So he's on the trip. He had to go to Mykonos. He's got a bunny rabbit and a bottle, and here he goes. You watch him. It's a good thing. Spin that bottle. Oh, hold it. Got to have a flat head. Hey, oh, and look, the nightclub owner's going to come up and go, oh, mate, you can't do that, mate. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you very much. I'll take that. Hey, nightclub owner. Oh, yeah. So he's living the dream. So that was just one rabbit hole I went down. So I want to know the connection. We did do a look up here, and I can see it's a brother. Two brothers are the founders of their business. I don't know who Daniel is, not saying he's connected any which way, but I thought I'd take a wee look. Yeah, so I noticed they've got the venue team. So I can only assume, ladies and gentlemen, that the team marketing group is somebody. So I went down a rabbit hole. They've been featured in the New York Times, the Eater, Orlando Weekly, Tampa Bay Times, the Washington Post, Orlando Sentinel, I've wrote to them before, Orlando Business Journal, and Narc City. Now, that's really, really cool. So good on you guys for having a business. However, I started doing the old Google review on who they are. And I might double up here, but let's just have a wee look. If you search for a team marketing group, and you go to their 26 reviews, you can actually see that they have got a 2.1 star rating, which is very, very poor. And I did find one of these reviews, I think it was James Hold, and I'm going to read his review because it sounds very sincere. Now, I get a lot of fake reviews and people give me a hard time on the internet, but this one sort of took the cake.
My experience is that they don't pay their bills and they avoid you like the plague if they owe you money. I gave them the benefit of the doubt at first, but now in my own experience with them it seems like they are intentionally screwing us over simply because they can, which is what I have heard from others. That is just par for the course for TMG. I can only imagine how many other little guys got taken advantage of by this company. Probably a lot. It's just basic human decency to at least reply, and they won't even do that. Perhaps their success has come at the expense of taking advantage of the hard work of others. It certainly seems that way. I feel like I am being forced to burn a bridge by posting this review. I really wanted to support what they are doing in Orlando. but I would rather achieve the same ends by supporting a more scrupulous company than TMG. We gave this company a lot in PR, which after 13 years in Orlando is not insignificant, and sales, and promotion, in good faith, and we asked for very little in return. But since they apparently think they don't need us anymore, they won't even give us the time of day. I have tried everything from going through their managers, to emailing them, to messaging them on social media, sending them letters in the mail, etc., and it's clear they are intentionally ignoring us. Not a single response in 3 months. Never once have they acknowledged our existence once they didn't need us anymore. They have some amazing venues and a lot of potential, and I love some of what they are doing to create more offerings in Orlando. And I really wanted to support their efforts. But I cannot in good conscience fail to let everyone know the other side of this company. In the overall scheme of things, what they owe us isn't the point. The point is that they will take advantage of you just because they can. I want to be proven wrong, but in our experience with them thus far, they are bullies, and that is putting it mildly. All I wanted was at least a basic response, but we can't even get that. Unless you are one of Orlando's top elites, who cheer on venues where everything is overpriced for the purpose of keeping out the poors, you are dead to these guys.
Isn't that incredible? Now, why can I believe a review like that? Well, this James Hold has done 39 reviews. He's even edited it 2 years ago. So it does have volumes. So some people have wrote reviews about the pricing of stuff. You can always count on Team Market Group to bring, immerse, elevate, and unique concepts to Orlando, the best business in the biz. So that's lovely. Wonder who she is. She's got 29 reviews, so maybe we can believe her as well. But, oh, there's another one. Let's have a listen to some of these one-star reviews.
Paying over market value for properties and eliminating competition. The bland minimalist brand is the farmhouse decor of hospitality brands.
Don't know what that means. Unwanted
gentrification. Orlando isn't Miami and never will be.
Don't know what that means either, really. Let's have a listen.
Gentrification at its worst. Orlando deserves better.
What's gentrification? So it's a gentleman's club. Is that what we're getting at? The brotherhood. All these guys that go out there with the brotherhood and they're just out for the men and the bros. And trust me, bro, this is the terrible thing. All the women in Orlando, are you treated like slabs of meat? Because that's what it sounds like. And that's disgusting. And we're going to show you some stuff that is disgusting. And Romi's wrote to me, and I will give you the reply in a few minutes, but what the hell's going on here? Why can this guy hang out with people that have been accused of heinous acts and then be hanging out and going to Mykonos with another guy that's been accused of one of the biggest Ponzi schemes I've ever seen? Isn't your associations important, especially if you're in the hospitality industry?
Out of touch with the locals of Orlando. Not wanted.
I mean, these are pretty scolding reviews. I hope I've got the right place, and if I haven't, I apologize.
Terrible customer service and horribly run venues all over Orlando.
Wow. Horrible service. AMG is destroying Orlando. I ain't paying $15 for $15, was it?
I ain't paying $15 for a goddamn hot dog.
A goddamn hot dog. That's amazing. Running Orlando and forcing small businesses out. Four reviews 2 years ago. These people are low. Signed, McKnife. Isaac, the worst. I mean, I don't even think I've seen reviews this bad before. 5 years ago, 1-star review. Let's go more. Professionalism. 5 months ago? 5 years ago. That's a long one. Oh, look, I've got a 5-star review. 2 reviews from a guy that's got 2 reviews, gave him a 5-star review with no comments. Somebody gave a 1-star review 7 months ago. 5 reviews, 1-star review. 8 reviews, 1-star review. No reviews by the look of it. A year ago, 5 stars. 4 photos. Oh, let's have a look at the photos. I'd hate to think, but let's have a look. Photos. So we have got photos. I can only assume I've got the right place here. I hope I have. I think I've got the wrong, I've gone to the wrong screen, so excuse me if that's the case. But anyway, do your own research. Just what I've done is I've gone and looked up, maybe that's not the right venue. I could have it wrong. No, 26, yeah, so he's got 26 Google reviews. I have got it right. And 26 Google reviews, and he's got 2.1, which is pretty horrendous. I think I've got 99% good. I think I've got 5 stars, actually. Even the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger I'm probably going to get a 1-star review now I've said that. Anyway, so that's what I found out about Team Marketing Group. And I can only, like I'm only human. I've done my best to find out, but if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that's the same venue. I'll just make sure because I'm doing this live. I don't want to be done. But apparently, this is where they are. So maybe you're familiar with this venue, and that's where they are. It's a nice looking building. Orlando looks lovely. I'd love to visit, but probably not a good time for me to visit now because everyone's trying to come after me for telling the truth. But there you go. So that's what we found out. So as I said, they've got venues. So we click on venues here. They've got quite a few. He must have done quite well for himself. So why would he need to hang out with people? So I did a search for Romi. Oh, am I saying that right?
Romi Mawardi.
Romi Mawardi. And you can see photos here. So no doubt in the entertainment industry, you do meet a lot of people. But you can't deny that photo there. And when you find out more about these Alexander brothers, it's pretty horrendous. So, yeah, as I said. All right, so let's not go too far down the rabbit hole. But, we will actually. Can't help myself. Okay, so here we are. Some photos and some people. So what I'm asking you guys to help me with, I mean, Romy might just been an innocent bystander on an aeroplane sheltered with stolen investors' money and gone to Mykonos for a holiday with his mate Christopher. And he just might accidentally be arm in arm with the Alexander brothers that are accused of heinous acts with women. And so what I'm asking you guys to do, while you're looking at these photos, are any of the people in these photos associated with Christopher or the Alexander brothers? Because that's what I'm really trying to find out. And I'm not saying they are. If you read the YouTube description, you'll see, what is the association with Romy and the bottle spinning guy? Because isn't that the bottle spinning guy there? I'm just having a wee look here. No, that's not him, is it? No, I don't think it is. What is it? No. It's another opening of another bar, is it? Could be. It's got a big bag. Shoes. Anyone in there we know? Don't think so. So he's done really well for himself. Good on him. But hanging out with bad people is only going to bring your own reputation down. Or maybe your reputation is down. I don't know. I'm just looking here, trying to find what the connection is. I know that Christopher just gave $1 million to Patrick Ben David, who sponsors, I think, owns the Yankee team. And maybe that was connected there. I don't know. We've got people. I tell you what, though, if I was doing anything shady, I wouldn't have my Instagram open. You know what I'm saying? And when we were going through Christopher's girlfriend's Instagram and we're doing a live, it shut down in real time, which I thought was our case. Hey, he's got German Shepherds. Now, I weren't really a dog person, but I've had 3 German Shepherds. My wife at the time when I met her, or the fiance, whatever you call them when you meet them, she had a German Shepherd, finished up owning 3 of them. So that's quite cool. He's got German Shepherds. I'll give you brownie points for that. These are the sort of photos I don't get, though. I mean, who are these people? Perhaps I need to get invited out more. If you want to invite me to a few parties, it would be really nice. Maybe when all this is over, though. Just saying. But look at that, he's got 3 of these dogs. You know, these dogs eat 60 kgs worth of food a month. It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, who are these associates? Who are these people? I think we're going way back now. Are they associated with Christopher? And if so, what is the connection with Christopher? Because he claims that he just got an airplane and decided to go to Mykonos with Christopher just for a joyride. Other than that, he's got no investments with him. He's just, maybe Christopher was trying to woo him into an investment. So the interesting thing is, what I forgot to do, which I will do this on another screen, but this is going to be something I haven't done, which I'm going to do. And I'm just going to see whether, because we've now got your email address, mate. Do you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a search for you, and I'm just going to have a wee looky in the database to see whether your email address is an investor, because that sort of will tell us everything. Let's have a wee look. So I've got your email address, which isn't doxing if you put up people's email address. But in saying that, let's have a wee look and just see whether he's in the database. And if he's in the database, then he's down as an investor, isn't he? Let's have a look. I'm sort of hoping he's not really, because I just want to know how an innocent man managed to get himself on a jet on the way to Mykonos with a guy that's running the biggest Ponzi scheme on the planet, in my opinion, and also has a relationship with the Alexander brothers, who have been accused of doing heinous acts to women, drugging them. Let's have a look. It's not on the database. Oh, that was fun. All right, so let's close out. Well done, Romi. You're not in the database that we can see with the email, with your Yahoo email address, but that was interesting. All right, let's carry on then. So we've gone right through. We've had a look at all his. So what we do normally is we come in here and we go through, and we find anything to do with in your all your social media. It's like a rabbit hole, really. Oh, look at this. Oh, that was just hilarious. Good on you guys. So let's shut that one down. We've got, and I did notice, which was quite interesting, because I felt for the guy that said that he's been trying to email him, message him, social media him, and he's just got crickets from Romi. And I went through his social media and I was looking and looking and looking for any connection or any email address, and I couldn't find one publicly. However, as soon as I put his name out on social media, he did email me, and I can only assume it's the correct email. You should see, you should read the disclaimer. This is the disclaimer he sent me, the confidentiality note. Now, this is quite a mouthful, so listen to this.
Confidentiality note. The information and/or attachment S contained in this transmission may be privileged and/or confidential, and is intended only for the use of the individual S or entity named above as the recipient S. If the reader of this message is not the intended recipient S, you are hereby notified that any dissemination, disclosure, distribution or copying of this communication and/or attachment S is strictly prohibited by person S or entity other than the intended recipient S. If you have
Look, it's going to go on for ages, but you get the idea. So just imagine that you've got yourself a great big long disclaimer at the bottom of all your emails. However, when he writes emails to you, they're all one-liners. So when I asked him about whether he's invested, I think it's probably about time. Now, I just want to show you some of the stuff here. This is the sort of content that's on Romi's Facebook page. Now, I don't know if this does not look good. If you have got friends that have been accused of doing heinous acts to women, why on your Facebook page would you have this video? Hold it. I'll just get rid of that sound. So if you look at this video, there's a lady wearing what looks like, actually it looks like she's wearing the same costume that that lady that delivered the Lamborghini car outside that nightclub. Looks like she's wearing the same costume. So here's a lady dancing on a table wearing what looks like a G-string. Some random guy is slapping her on the ass. She falls over because she's so drunk, and you think that's a good video to keep on your Facebook page. I mean, what is that actually telling people who have been got to get my words right here, accused of, so you've got your mates that you've got, so let's just go back to the picture before so these two guys here have been accused of heinous acts with women, drugging women, raping women, and here's Romi in a picture with them. And then down the bottom here, you've got Romi again on a jet plane ride to Mykonos with another guy that's been accused of running one of the biggest Ponzi scams in the history the biggest scam I've ever gone after in my life. So I don't know, guys. You know, and we've reached out to him, and he says that no, he was just invited as a friend, but I haven't reached out to him and asked him what his connection is with the Alexander brothers. So I'd love to know that, because that's a pretty good we're good mate photos, wouldn't you agree? So anyway, there they are. He's got a video on his Facebook page of some woman wearing a G-string, and they're stepping on it. It's not him, but it's hosted on his Facebook page. So no doubt if I hit refresh, wonder if that's going to be still there. Yeah, it's still there. I'll be deleting that one. I don't know anything about Keith. I assume that he's just an innocent bystander. I don't know who Daniel is, but maybe you do. Okay, so we've got these videos. We've updated that video. Did we actually update that video? I don't think I actually updated that. Might have to update that link. There's the photo I'm talking about. So there you go, having a good old laugh. We'll get rid of these one at a time. So here you go. Now we've got the other side of it. So this is another occasion. Oh, no, I think this is in Mykonos. Maybe they went to Mykonos for a concert, but you've got Romi here, and then you've got Christopher, and you've got the bottle spinning guy there. So they're all out there having a good old time. That's great, guys. Nothing wrong with that. Now, this is a different event as far as I'm knowledge. Now, I think we've got one of the Seagal brothers, maybe two of the Seagal brothers. You've got the bottle spinning guy, and then you've got Christopher, who's forgot to do the buttons up on his shirt. And then you've got Romy in the background clinching the deal with the photo. So this isn't Mykonos. And this, I don't know when this photo was taken. I did have some intel on this, but I don't think we actually know when this was taken. I'm just going to check some of my intel just to see if I accidentally have any intel. Okay, so this was Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. That's great. Yeah, and we don't know the guy. Oh, so no, that's right. No, that's somewhere else. No, I've got the wrong photo there. Fontainebleau. Oh, okay, that's quite cool. I see. So we've also got another photo which we'll bring up. Okay, alrighty, yeah, got some good stuff coming in here, guys. So yes, so we don't know when this is taken, but if you do, we'd like to know when. But this isn't Mykonos, I don't believe. Could be wrong. So this is another occasion where Romi's decided to hang out with Christopher. They're more than just casual acquaintances, maybe. I don't know. That's what I'm accusing. That's the photo you've already seen. Won't go there again. So now this photo here is another photo of the Alexander brothers. So this was actually taken. I'm going to actually figure out where this was actually taken. I'm going to actually do a search because I think it was taken here. And let's have a look. Oh, Fontainebleau's one word. Let's have a look at some images. And we should see a fancy bar, which was where that was taken. So I'm going to have a look. Maybe we put bar. Let's see what we've got here. Is it that one there? Yeah. Oh, maybe. I'll just have another wee look and go back to that. 1 second, please, caller. Just see if it is. Oh, I can't quite see. No, I don't know if it is. No. Oh, maybe that. Hold it. It may be not all night long. So it may have been that place there. That looks very similar. I'm only assuming that's the same place, but I can find out. So take a memory clip of that photo. And now we're going to go back to the original. I can't really tell, but maybe the same decor. Oh, maybe it is. Hard to tell. But anyway, there's another photo there. I don't know what he really looks like. I haven't memorized his face, but I'm pretty sure that's the Alexander brother. And here's Romy again. Now we've got them on the plane to Mykonos, drinking probably $1,000 bottle of tequila, having a good old time. So it's celebrations with your mates, isn't it, really? Boy, I mean, you really want to clean up your image, so don't you? Because when you think about it, would you really want to be, I mean, the people that you get your selfies with, I know I'm not going to do any selfies with anybody in the not too distant future because it just brings your reputation down, doesn't it? Just obviously being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's like when you get in trouble when you're younger and your parents go, oh, he's just started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And then you think, well, actually, I've heard that expression before. Because everyone blames everyone else for being around the wrong crowd. But then you realize that, it's more than just the wrong crowd. You're hanging around the bad people. All right, so enough about Romy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a bit more of investigation on these these other Alexander brothers, because I was just amazed on how much press there was actually around on them. And I've just gone and opened the first. So what I've actually searched for is this.
Alexander brother rape, drugging allegations cap downfall of star realtors.
Yeah, so they owned a big real estate company, so I heard. And that's their empire there. Now we've got to have a few ads on here, I presume. So let's just have a wee listen to some of the stuff. Whoop, my news, this is where this has come from. There's a scmp.com.
Rape, Drugging allegations cap downfall of US luxury real estate stars. Prosecutors claim a long pattern of rape for 3 brothers charged in real estate sex trafficking scheme.
So they've had 3 brothers charged. How about that? Oh, it looks like I have to pay to actually read this one. I'm going to see if I can do a tricky Danny thing where I select the whole lot and see if I
We
can
use
read it.
cookies to tailor your experience and present relevant
Wait for a
ads.
minute.
By clicking accept, you agree that cookies can be placed per our privacy policy. Accept. Latest, China, economy, HK,
Yeah, it's
Asia,
gonna come right.
business, tech, lifestyle, people and culture, world, opinion, video, sport, post mag, style, games all, subscribe, United States, world, United States.
Sometimes I can sneakily get to read it without paying by, you just go like this and then you go down like that and then hopefully.
Brothers Oren and Tal Alexander vaulted to the top echelons of ultra-luxury real estate in 2019 with the sale of a $238 million Manhattan penthouse,
Wow.
the most expensive deal for a home in US history. But as the brokers mingled with celebrities and hosted extravagant bashes in New York and Miami, their glamour and prestige allegedly masked a much darker world. Federal prosecutors arrested the Alexanders and their brother, Alon, on Wednesday, unveiling an indictment accusing them of a pattern of rape and sexual assault dating as far back as high school. The alleged crimes include trafficking women for sex, drugging victims, and violent attacks.
Yeah. So once again, so these are the 2 people that have been accused of these heinous acts. So that's the first one. I'll see if we can find one that we can read the whole lot. Star luxury property brokers charged with sex trafficking in the USA. So here's the 3 brothers there, and that's definitely the same guys. We'll move that along there. So that them got the right people. Hate when I get the wrong person. So that guy, and then that one there, he's got more. So imagine that. Let's have a listen to the first paragraph.
2 famous real estate brokers and their brother have been charged with sex trafficking in a case involving the alleged drugging, assaulting and raping of dozens of women over more than a decade. Prosecutors say Tal and Oren Alexander, who are known for selling high-end properties in New York and Miami, along with their brother Alon, used their wealth to take advantage of women. The brothers were arrested in Florida on Wednesday and are expected to be taken to New York to face the charges. A lawyer representing Oren Alexander rejected the accusations. Alon Alexander's lawyer said her client will be pleading not guilty. Tal Alexander's representative, Joel De Niro, declined to comment.
Wow. We're going to read this because there's a couple of videos we're going to watch as well. But just remember, would you want to associate with people like this?
As of today, law enforcement has interviewed dozens of women who reported being forcibly raped or sexually assaulted by at least one of the Alexander brothers, said Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, at a press conference in Manhattan. This conduct, as alleged, was heinous. On Friday, 2 of the brothers were granted bond after their father put up his mansion as collateral.
Oh my
The county
God.
bond agreement allows for Alon and Oren Alexander to be held on home confinement pending trial. However, they will continue to be held in jail on federal charges for now, according to Miami media outlets. The prosecutors say the alleged crimes were committed over more than a decade. The indictment describes a scheme that involved inviting women to parties, as well as using the promise of luxury experiences and travel to lure them to locations in the US and abroad where the alleged assaults happened.
Well, I find that actually quite amazing because this is what I find all these people that we monitor all go out there on the party lifestyle. And, unfortunately, it is really guilty by association in a way. I can't say people are guilty of these acts without, but, you wouldn't want to associate with anyone once they've been accused of this sort of stuff. I mean, what protects a lot of these people from, jail is the fact that they've got more money than a bull can shit. So they just their lawyers keep them out of jail for a long time. But, it becomes down to just your opinion, isn't it? Whether you believe they're guilty or not. But I certainly would not be rushing up and getting a photo with the Alexandra boys anytime soon. Hey, Romy.
It also says they procured drugs and provided them to the women and, at times, surreptitiously put them in drinks. Finally, prosecutors also say that in some instances the brothers physically restrained and held down their victims during the rapes and sexual assaults and ignored screams and explicit requests to stop. Immediately after the assaults, the brothers allegedly provided some of the victims with concert tickets and other luxury items. The 3 brothers are being charged with 1 count each of engaging in a sex trafficking conspiracy and a 2nd count of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion.
Wow. I didn't know anything about this when I started Investigative Goliath Ventures, and I still can't find any connection to Goliath Ventures and these boys. except Romi. And that's why I'm doing this video. I'm asking if anyone, I may be completely wrong, and I'm not saying there is any connection, but if there is a connection, this is how I fish for information. So if you've got any photos of Alexander Brothers and Christopher Delgado together, then please let me know. But at the moment, the only person that seems to be smoozing between the Alexander Brothers, well, used to smooze with the Alexander Brothers, is Romi. And then obviously he's been on Learjet and partying up large and doing elaborate parties with Christopher. So what's the connection? So let's find out.
Tal Alexander is also charged with a further count of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Oren Alexander is innocent, said his lawyer, Susan Netchels. The evidence will show that neither he nor his brothers ever committed a crime. Meanwhile, a lawyer representing the women welcomed the indictment. We are glad to hear that there will finally be some measure of accountability for the Alexander brothers, and justice for their many victims, said David Gottlieb in a statement posted by his law firm Wigder LLP on X.
Yeah, so I've currently got 5 theoretical lawsuits against me at the moment. And the trouble I have, it's because people are claiming that I shouldn't speak out about people. I might have 6 soon. But it's very, very hard to get something over the line when you accuse people of things. I mean, even if you're speaking the truth, it's impossibly hard. But I get accused of all sorts of things, mainly defamation for me, but I always speak the truth. I mean, I used to own a business networking company, right? And I know that I know how to network. And this is why I'm good at fighting criminals at the moment. I know if something doesn't look right. Now, Romi reached out to me and basically denied. But here's numerous photos of him hanging out with Christopher. And then I obviously stumbled ruins useful habits, so my mum used to say. But you can hear the truth in some of this. So there's a lot of women out here that may get, I'm not even going to make an excuse for their behavior, but some of these women, like the woman, now just picture this. As I said earlier on, you've got a photo of a lady wearing a G-string at a bar, bent down in a doggy position. Some guy slapping her on the ass. The lady is obviously drunk and falls off and everyone picks up her. Would you think it was wise putting that video on your Facebook page when people that you've got yourself in photos with have been accused of doing heinous acts to women? That's just, that's just the truth of it. So let's go to the next one. So we've been in Bloomberg. Now, I've been in Bloomberg. However, you've got to pay to be in there. So the Bloomberg, they did a 10th month investigation on Sam Lee and Shavas Anwar. Now, Shavas Anwar, about an hour and a half ago, gave me another copyright strike because he is fuming because we've actually shut down his websites. We've got enough clout, enough evidence on this guy to shut down his websites. He just did a big launch of his website in Vietnam because it's an easy place to market, and we shut him down. So in retaliation, he actually does a fake copyright strike. Now, anyone would think, now this video here, I am allowed to use any of the content that you see under the fair use. And I've produced this video because I'm live on the internet. For somebody to come along and claim this video as their own is actually unbelievable. So I've had 5 copyright strikes in the last 3 days, which doesn't bother me. But as I said earlier, when you've got 3, your YouTube channel comes off. And and we could use those dirty tactics. Now, 2 of those copyright strikes are actually from Goliath Ventures. Over the last, I don't have a Facebook account anymore. It got removed because I used to report Facebook pages that were promoting Ponzi schemes and scams. People reported me for reporting them, and statistics and AI must have said, this guy looks suspicious, and they removed my Facebook account. Just in the last 3 weeks, I've lost my Instagram account. I've lost my TikTok account. I have lost my Reddit account. And I've also get about 100 messages a day on my WhatsApp because I publicize my phone number. Now, I'm quite happy to talk to anybody, but if you really want to communicate with me, do not come in on my WhatsApp and go, hi, because I just delete them. Also, I've had privacy complaints on a lot of my videos that aren't aren't there. There's no reason. I try to cut out phone numbers, anything that's doxing people. I try to do it properly. Sometimes I do slip up. I'm not unhuman, but you can complain if you want. But it just means I just click a button and it goes off to YouTube and they go, yep, you're fine. 5 copyright strikes and I'm still able to broadcast on the internet. Doesn't that tell you something? Yeah, so do that if you want, but that's not fighting fear. I'm only reporting the truth. I'm also using other people's, like Bloomberg did a 10-month investigation on a video with me. So if you went to theheck.com, is my website. And I do actually value having donations, by the way. Now, I've had some donations this week, but I go for about 10 days and nobody gives me any donations, and that's fine. But if you want me to fight these guys for you, you can hit the join button on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That was awesome. I've been watching some other YouTubers who have Patreon accounts, but you have to produce content for Patreon to keep your audience community happy. And I'm not doing this for, it's not a show. I'm actually trying to actually take down massive scammers. I feel like I'm a one-man band, but I'm not. I've got a team of Avengers who help me fight these guys. But I was listening to Always Marco yesterday, and he said it's a two-edged sword. If you charge and tell people that you want donations, they think you're doing it for the money. But I'm the one that gets the lawsuits. As I said, I've got 5 lawsuits going at the same time. Now, you're probably thinking 5? Danny must be a naughty boy. Well, 3 of those lawsuits are actually in Pakistan, and they've actually all been merged into one lawsuit. And I have somebody who's actually representing me in Pakistan. Now, who the hell would think I could be in a lawsuit in Pakistan? Why would that be? Well, Azneem Bouani, the biggest scammer in Pakistan, is actually trying to sue me because we're over the target. Now, in 2021, Pakistan had basically a raids of all their software houses where they bring up an American person, probably you, and say, you're an amazing individual. We would like to offer you ghostwriting services. And they say they're going to publish your book. That's what they do. They take $1,000 off you initially, and then they tell you that you need to get your branding right. So they get your domain name, get your website. They will tell you that they're going to use one of their best writers that get books on Amazon. They'll show you covers of books that they claim they have on Amazon. Before you know it, we find that one lady had rung us up and she'd invested $125,000 in getting her book published. She still hasn't had her book published. In fact, she bought the Hollywood package for $25,000 for when her book was launched, and they refunded that, but they've still stolen $100,000 off her. Now, we expose those companies, and they come out with us, and we got all these. I've got them on the wall over here, but we've got all these, they're filing. Now, in Pakistan, it's different than America. If you don't defend yourself, they win by default. So that was their ploy. If they win by default, then they will get a judgment. And the judgment can be used to get my videos removed, theoretically, well, maybe from YouTube. Because they'll go to YouTube and say, a court in Pakistan found that Danny the Heck didn't defend himself, so we won by default. Now we want these videos where we're costing them millions of dollars. And, we discovered 1,000 websites that they were using. They were using Google ads to promote them. So it's very hard, but we go out. That's one lawsuit. Another lawsuit is my local, it's Queenstown. I should be doing that instead of this video. I've just got to fill out a bit more paperwork. But a guy I did who basically was trying to do a marketing package for a company, set up a fake company domain name and email address and impersonated somebody in that company. And then when the client that he wanted to work for asked for testimonials, he gave them a made-up email address from a fake domain name and pretended he was that person. And then he sent them fake sales reports from that company claiming he was that company. Now, that guy doesn't like his video on my website and also on YouTube. And he's been trying to get it off. So he's decided that he's going to go to a civil court here in New Zealand and have a go at telling everyone I'm defaming him. Now, I've got 8 exhibits that I'm submitting in the court case, and I'm going to do it myself this time because it is so ridiculous that he's even trying to come after me for reporting the truth. I have the domain name that he registered. He registered the domain name on the 15th of May, I think it was. And then he emailed the client on the 17th of May from that domain name. And then we can find the domain name data is the same as another domain name he owns and publicizes. And also, then we've got the correspondence from the lady he was impersonating saying that she didn't correspond with the customer to be. And they still want me to go through the court system. And it's going to be so embarrassing for the guy. So the other day I thought, to save a bit of my time, I'll give him some of the exhibits I'm going to put through the court system just so he knows what he's shooting himself in the foot. Yeah, well, that's one thing. And then we don't know whether we don't actually really know whether we've got a lawsuit in America, because America can't just come over to New Zealand and sue a Kiwi. And even everything that we've looked at and researched, we don't believe it's done the proper way. I mean, imagine, it's just amazing. So, the file stuff, but something doesn't spell right. And we've got a great team and we've got a lot of people backing us. So it's a full-time job. That's what we do. So if you do want to support me and what I do, then please do join the YouTube channel. That would be much appreciated. And help us fight these scammers, because the Orlando one isn't our only scam. As I said, Pakistan is a $3.4 billion industry, and we've gone after that industry. I've been working on that one for about a year. I've also got over 200 Ponzi schemes and scams that we're investigating. As I said, Chavis, a guy that has been involved with Sam Lee, which is a $1.9 billion scam. We've shut down probably about 6 of their websites. They've got quite a few of them still going, but it's just a continuous battle. And this week's probably been one of the most exhausting I've ever had. One of our colleagues suggested that I just deleted all the videos where they're giving me flack. And I said, are you kidding me? I'm not doing this to keep my YouTube channel. I'm doing it because I want to expose people. So I'm good at this. These guys here are out partying. These guys have been accused of a heinous acts to women. The same guy that is in this photo is in another photo going out with other people that have been accused of running large-scale Ponzi schemes and scams, or Ponzi scheme. And he's just saying that he's got a free ticket, a free seat in his Learjet, and he went along for the ride. So here's Bloomberg, which I said have done an investigative piece with me. It took 10 months of research. They don't just willy-nilly stick their name out there and publish these articles. What's the next one here? The Alexander brothers built an empire with their accuser. Listen to this.
The Alexander brothers built an empire. Their accusers say the foundation was sexual violence.
Sexual violence. So who are these guys?
Oren and Tal made a killing in real estate, while Alon worked in security. But women have leveled shocking accusations of rape and assault against all 3 brothers, dating back to high school.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? So let's have a quick listen to some of this.
Jane left her 2 sisters and a friend napping at their hotel, resting up for the New Year's Eve festivities. It was late afternoon by the time the Uber dropped her alone at the Miami Beach apartment building, with its lobby of marble and dark wood, and an elegant pool backing out onto the sand. Alon, the tall, handsome, successful man she'd been excited to see a third time, had texted her a picture of a barbecue in full swing. He came down to meet her, greeting her with a hug, and up they went. The elevator opened into an airy apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows, where 2 other men stood beside a kitchen island. One of them, Oren, was Alon's identical twin. Alon introduced her to the other, Ohad, as their cousin, but Jane was immediately confused. There was no sign of any other guests, no barbecue apparent at all. Nonetheless, the group made small talk for several minutes before Alon beckoned her to follow him to another room.
I actually listen to stuff and I think, like, the real dumb thing about this is we can't stop these animals. I have to stick my own personal welfare out on a limb to, I have to jeopardize my everything to speak. And these ladies that come forth and tell these stories are just heroes. And what is the world coming to? Where, we have to be the voice of these ladies who have been incredibly strong. Imagine being in that situation and lured into something like that, and then having the voice to tell people about it, knowing the wealth that these people have behind them. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting that these guys can get away with it. And okay, let's have some doubt in there. Maybe they just were in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they were hanging around the wrong people at the wrong time. And or the lady was on the bones of her ass and she's really poor and she's doing it for the money. Just like I'm a YouTuber and I'm doing it for the money. I'm not allowed to ask you guys for money. No, I'm not allowed to do this for money. I've got to do it because I'm a philanthropist and I just want to set up a YouTube channel and jeopardize everything I've actually got, which is nothing. And all of a sudden outing these people just so hoping that you're going to click on an advert and I'm going to get a few cents. You know, I get $300 or $400 a month from a YouTube channel, right? I'm not doing this for clicks. This person, this lady doesn't sound like she's doing it for the money. She's doing it because she's been heinously abused by individuals that have more clout than she does. And for her to speak out, this lady is a fucking hero.
She had matched with him over the summer on Bumble, while she was living in New York. They had a mutual acquaintance from her college days in Orlando. They'd first met for drinks at his sprawling Soho loft, and they had sex, consensually, and again just after a Carrie Underwood concert. They'd reconnected after realizing they were both in Miami Beach for the holiday. Jane hoped the invitation that afternoon indicated Alon might consider her more than just a casual hookup, but as she followed him through the doorway to a bedroom, shooing away a maid, Jane suddenly understood she was not being given a tour of the apartment, and then Ohad and Oren walked in, single file.
Oh, this is terrible.
Oren closed and locked the door. Ohad clambered onto the bed, pulled Jane back by the shoulders, then pinned her up her arms beneath his knees. It was like a ritual thing, she recalls now. Everyone knew what to do. Terrified, her heart rate spiked and tears began to pour as Oren, speaking nonchalantly to Alon about who's gonna go first despite Jane's clear distress, wrestled off her jean shorts and bikini bottom, took off his own pants, and rolled on a condom. Please don't, she cried out as he painfully penetrated her, turning toward Alon, who had taken a seat next to the bed, and watched in silence. They were just completely ignoring me, she recalls. I was there. But I wasn't there. She thought feigning enjoyment might bring the nightmare to an end faster, but her pretense seemed to irritate Oren. Muttering "fuck this," he ripped off the prophylactic and stormed out. Jane began to cry hysterically.
Oh my God, this is a terrible experience. These are the two guys that they're talking about at the moment. And the third guy, well, he just happened to be in the picture. He's not in this story. But I'm saying, why would you associate with people like that? It's just unreal. I don't even know if we need to listen to the rest of this. I think we get the idea. But what I'm saying is that these women are incredibly brave, and these men have been accused of doing heinous acts to women. And I do know like we've got 6 government agencies currently investigating Christopher Delgado. And I'm not saying Christopher Delgado has raped anybody or anything like that, but I know the length that these government agencies have to go to actually arrest somebody. And we're not far away from getting Christopher locked up. But these are, this guy, Romi, well, he's associated with Christopher. And that's the terrible part. So obviously every newspaper known to man, that's Bloomberg again. This is people.com, Wealthy Brothers Secret. What does it say?
Predators, the rise and fall of the Alexanders, accused sex traffickers.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? From being in, what have we got here? What's this one here? Just going to listen to this paragraph.
Startled, Saskar says, she assumed that her date was nervous and politely asked him to calm down. But that only seemed to excite him more, she says. The more I resisted, the more he got aggressive. His eyes changed, and he started undressing me and pushed me down, and then he raped me, she says. When it was over, Saskar says, she looked up and saw her attacker smirking as he said coldly, "That was good."
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, it's just sad, isn't it? Yeah, what have we got here? Oh, well, this is what's this meant to be? I don't know. Whose birthday party is that? I don't know. What's that? So this is their birthday cake, a cake with woman's breast on it that they've eaten the nipples off. Is that the image they want to portray? Wow, look at that. Imagine having that. That's what's going to happen to Christopher, you see. He's going to be up there with the board. It's going to be Christopher Dago. Sorry, I get the name wrong all the time. Christopher, no offense. Ring me sometime. I've got your phone number. You never answer it. U.S. attorneys. Let's have a listen.
U.S. Attorney Damian Williams at a New York press conference, December 11th, 2024.
Wow, man. Imagine that. Isn't that good that these women have been brave enough to actually come forward? Isn't that amazing? And look at the guys. They look like, the very, this is CNN. Three brothers face 15 years in life imprisonment if convicted of federal charges. But so why would you have these photos? Now there was a video which I can't see, but I might come across that in a minute. But they've been in the Guardian. I've been in the Guardian as well. I'll just see if there is a video, because there was a video that I watched that just before I come live, which was pretty cool. So where's that? That's CNBC. They did articles. I wonder if I can, let's see if there's a video. There might be a video. Let's say video. What have we got here? Is this?
Luxury real estate.
Wow, this one's priceless, isn't it? So this is Patrick Ben David, radio. Patrick Ben David just received $1 million from Christopher to be at his name, to be the naming sponsor for his event Vault 2025. And it is kind of ironic that he's now talking about the luxury real estate rapist, because this guy also had connections with somebody else as well. Oh, there was he was talking about another Ponzi scheme that fell over just recently, a couple of weeks ago. So let's have a listen to see what he says about these guys.
World rocked by rape allegations against Star Broker. Now, this story isn't written by Daily Mail. This story is not written by some hocus pocus website. This is written by Wall Street Journal. 5 women have accused Oren Alexander, co-founder of luxury real estate brokerage official, of sexual assault or rape, with incidents spanning from high school 20 years ago to as recently as 2020. One woman, an aspiring model, described an incident in 2017 where Alexander allegedly ripped her dress off and threw her on the bed, pinning her down and raped her despite her begging him to stop. Oren has taken a leave from his firm, calling the allegations baseless civil accusations and stating he is confident that the truth will be brought to light. 2 lawsuits filed in March accuse Oren and his twin brother, Alon, of sexual assaults dating back to 2010 and 2012. In one case, Rebecca Mandel alleges that after being invited to a non-existent party, Oren and Alon assaulted her, with Alon holding her down while Oren penetrated her. Another woman, Kate Whiteman, alleges she was raped by the twins at Sir Ivan Castles in the Hamptons after being forced into a black SUV and driven to the location.
Oh my God.
Adam, these guys are from Miami. What do you know about the story? Because I'm going to give my version of it away in a minute, my story. But what do you know about these guys?
So, full disclosure, I know these guys. I know their whole family. They grew up in Miami. I'm not friends with them. I don't have their phone numbers. Have I been in the same room as them? Tons of times. This is the biggest story in real estate by far. And this story has sort of been trickling out over the last week or so, right, PBD? First, I saw it in The Real Deal, which is a specific real estate publication.
So it does make me wonder whether this guy's got a selfie with them. He might do. But wonder if he's also got a selfie with Christopher. Because if we go in here and we look at persons of interest and we click on Christopher and we go into his images, you can see that we've actually got these photos. We've got Christopher was Speaker of the House. We've got Chris getting a new. Look at this one. It's Christopher being at the United States, the White House, the President of the United States seal. So that's pretty cool. We've even got me in the plane here as Christopher's flying off. Notice that me, I'm the captain. But yeah, it's so, and there's you can't see it very nice, but trust me, that's Patrick Ben David, arm in arm with Christopher Delgado. in a nightclub somewhere. I won't say the name of the nightclub, okay? But anyway, oh boy, it goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Oh, Tomo, how you going, mate? And Nick, oh my goodness. I mean, some of the stuff that we've got is linking these guys, are they in the same circles is really the question, I mean, I've already showed you these photos. Don't know that guy in the bow tie, though. Would be interested to know if anyone knows who he is. Let me know. It'd be great to see. But, they've got, celebrities. They're hanging around the same mix. So you'd have to really pick your associates, wouldn't you? So let's see if this guy's got any more insight about these Alexander brothers.
I saw it on Instagram, and then all of a sudden people, oh, hey, bro, like, what's going on? Like, we run in similar circles,
Well, it says it all, doesn't it?
Started messaging me, oh, shit, this is not good. 3 women, 5 women, oh, man. Then it went to 10 women. Then it went to the latest count, 30 different allegations. And I'm using that word specifically, allegations, because we don't know what is true and what is not true. And if we learned from other friends that we've spoken to, interview people that we've spoken to, we don't ever know what's true and what's not true in these allegations. But then it was in the New York Post. And then as of yesterday, I believe, it was in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. And then I was like, this is now officially a massive story. So here's what I can tell you. There's a few different things here. Most of the stories that you're hearing go back to 2010 to 2012, and a lot of them are in New York, specifically in the Hamptons. Why New York and the Hamptons, even though they're from Miami? They left Miami. They started working in real estate in New York. By the way, in the past 10 years, I think 5 of the last 10 years, they're the number 1 real estate team in the country. They were part of Douglas Elliman. I think they've sold $7 billion of real estate over the last 10 years, I say. Correct me on these numbers. Real estate, you talk about commissions, we have that conversation. If you take 1%, which is a low commission for $7 billion, that is $70 million in commissions. So imagine if they got 2%, whatever. They've made tens of millions of dollars in commissions, no doubt. New York, specifically New York, Kathy Hochul, the governor, in 2022, she came out with something called the Adult Survivors Act, where basically it has to do with the statute of limitations, because this is 10, 15 plus years ago that they allegedly did some of these stories. So here's what I can tell you for sure. They have marketed themselves as the most high-end luxury, top realtors, high-end in the country. By the way, they have the record for the most expensive home ever sold. They sold it to Ken Griffin, the hedge fund guy we've talked.
So do you see parallels here, guys? All these guys are about talking themselves up. Like I've got to share something with you, and I probably shouldn't, but first of all, let's go back to here. And we've got Romi here who claims that he's a good guy. And I should really have a photo of him and Christopher together, shouldn't I? Because that's fair. So I'm just going to find a photo of him and Christopher together. Let's see if I can find Christopher and him together. Where's the one of them having... oh, there it is. So that's good, right? So let's go here. So you've got... was it Romi? Romi there with, Christopher. And there he is with these guys, and here they are on the jet. So that's the same day, right? And he's just going along because it's a free thing. So I wrote to him, and even though he sent me, so this is what I've actually wrote to Romi, and I'll give you the whole email for full transparency, and you can just listen to it, but listen carefully. Here we go.
Hi Romi, thanks for reaching out. As you've seen, your name appears on our Persons of Interest board. That's because you were pictured on the Mykonos trip with Christopher Delgado, enjoying the private jet lifestyle. That is now under scrutiny as part of our investigation. We're not in the business of guesswork, so the fastest way to clear your name is by providing direct answers. Of course, you may not be directly involved, but right now it's hard to ignore the company you've been keeping. Let's just say, sometimes people end up looking guilty by association, so perhaps it's time to pick friends a little more carefully. To set the record straight, can you confirm the following? Have you personally invested in Goliath Ventures? If so, how much and when? No. How much in dividends or returns have you received to date? No. Do you currently have funds on the platform or in Delgado's hands, or have you withdrawn your money? No. Did you refer anyone else into Goliath, formally or informally? No. Anything you share can be treated confidentially, but we are actively working with Homeland Security and the US Secret Service, so accuracy is key. Cooperation now will only help your position down the track. If you'd prefer a quick call, let me know a good number and time. Otherwise, written replies and any supporting documents, screenshots, contracts, bank crypto records, will help us document your involvement accurately.
Right. So that was the email we wrote in reply to him saying, do you mind removing my name off your persons of interest list? Because I'm not associated to Christopher in any which way or form. So would you be interested to know the response that we've got? Okay, I see that and understand. I was on the trip because I was invited to go. Oh, I wasn't invited though, Romy. Nothing to do with his company. Nothing at all. I don't endorse him or anything. Of course not. I always knew Chris as a successful entrepreneur who lived in Orlando. Now, what part of success did you actually know about Christopher? Did you know he worked at In-N-Out Burger and got fired for stealing Adele tickets? Not my words, his words. Actually on it was actually on a video where he was interviewed. He explained how he got fired from In-N-Out Burger. Oh, and don't worry, he wasn't flipping the burgers. He was in management, so he had a executive job. Now, 3 years ago, Christopher had nothing. So I don't know what part of I always knew Chris as a successful entrepreneur who lived in Orlando. And the next thing he worked at was teeth whiteners. These things here, you can get them whiter. You just need to buy the strips that you put on your teeth. And we reached out to another lady, I forgot her name, but anyway, she was involved in the marketing campaigns that Chris was doing. And they're still going. Those same marketing campaigns were going in 2024. So Chris has always been a successful entrepreneur. Do you know that Chris claims on video that he publicly listed 2 of his companies? Do you know what companies they were? Because we don't. We don't know any companies that he's had that he's publicly listed. This is how ridiculous it is. And they are fighting back. So we're digging deep. We want to know if there is any connection to these Alexander brothers and Christopher. That's all I'm really trying to figure out here. I don't know there is, but people have provided us amazing intel. And that's what these videos are all about. Because there is a connection, but it's between Romi. He hangs out with people of influence. He's in those circles, those influencer parties, as you like. It says, only till your videos did I... this is what Romi said to us. I'm going to read it because it's ridiculous.
Only till your videos did anything or anyone start questioning.
So he didn't know anything about what Christopher was doing until he started watching my videos. Are you watching this one, Romi? Maybe you can provide us more information. So, to set the record straight, I can confirm the following. Have you ever invested in Goliath Ventures? If so, how much or when? His answer? No. Okay, thank you. How much dividends or returns have you received to date? No. Do you currently have funds on the platform or in Diego's hands, or have you withdrawn any money? No. See a pattern? Did you ever refer anyone else to Goliath formally or informally? No. So thank you very much, Romi. That's a fantastic reply. This image here is great, but this one here, that is brilliant, mate. Selfies with 2 guys that have been accused of doing heinous acts to women. What's your association with them in the past? No. We always can smell and sniff something. What is the association with these guys? Because he claims he has no association with Chris and he's just a distant relative. And he just thought that Chris was a successful entrepreneur based in Orlando. Unreal. Right, and we did have another reply. And this is what I've written back. Okay, so we've gone through... I think this is... Yeah, so we wrote back to him after he sent that to us.
We have some intel that tells us that you did recommend someone and they had signed up from you. It's not a crime, it's just that we have had some information, so if you wouldn't mind answering these questions to clear yourself truthfully. That would help us a lot. The only person Homeland Security is after is Chris. Have you personally invested in Goliath Ventures? If so, how much and when? No, how much in dividends or returns have you received to date? No, do you currently have funds on the platform or...
So he's answered the same questions the same way. But anyway, then he's wrote back, good luck with your intel. Well, thanks very much, mate. So that's probably it, really. I think we've done our dash on asking questions. So do come forward if you know any. We would love to know if there's any connection with the Alexander brothers and Christopher, but we are actually more interested in what is the connection with Romi and these two guys. If you've seen any photos of these two guys hanging out, because these guys often travel in the same circles. Obviously, Christopher Delgado has been investigated for running one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in America's history, and I've been after him. This is probably my, 30th video exposing these guys. And I'm going to show you something to show the dirty tactics. As I said at the start of this video, I've now got 5 copyright strikes. Now, I've been given this document. I don't know where it's exactly come from, but Christopher Goliath Ventures Inc. has requested that, and this is intimidation and actually humorous. Now, when I read this document, I said, where the hell did we get this from, to my informant? And I can't believe it. But do you know what open AI is? So Christopher Delgado has actually gone to the courts, and he won't get this information, and requested that he gets my ChatGPT data. Yes, you heard it right. And also my X data, which is Twitter data. So he wants ChatGPT to hand over. This is a civil matter, not a legal matter. Don't get yourself mixed up here, guys. We are the ones that are helping six government agencies investigate Goliath Ventures. And the investigation has been going on for a long time, I must just say, which we were real pleased to hear about. Christopher Delgado will be in bars in a few weeks' time. Obviously, they need to line up their ducks. So, Christopher, you might want to rush away to Dubai and live in your 2 houses, which I think you might have a few. Anyway, I'm not going to say. So, here they are to intimidate myself. They have alleged and probably told these same investors that they have requested that the courts hand over my ChatGPT data. Now, you can have it, Christopher. If you want, I can give you the login, because all the information that's in my ChatGPT is open source intelligence. But the fact that they've actually requested this is laughable. Now, imagine, now the people that they might be, so soon they've got the investors meeting that's coming up on the 23rd of October. We've got people that will be in that meeting. I don't believe they would be silly enough to actually run that meeting. We've got crypto that's crashed, right? Crypto lost $380 billion in one day, the biggest crash in the history of crypto. And if you want to listen to what Andrew Tate says, he claims that crypto is going to go down to $26,000 a token, a coin, whatever it is. And I actually believe him. I believe that crypto is going down. He said, imagine losing your family in a car crash and you think that's the end of the world. You get in your car and you drive to the hospital and you have a car accident and you break your leg. An ambulance comes along and picks you up and takes you to the hospital, and that crashes as well. And he said, that's what crypto's like. It's crashed one day, $380 million. It's lost. And people think that was the crash. It's going to get worse. I believe crypto is going to go down, down, down. Thank goodness I only have about $400 in crypto through donations. Thanks very much. Now, Christopher Delgado is going to hold an investors meeting on the 23rd of October. It's exclusive. Only investors can get in there. You'll be verified because I don't want any of this information public. It's going to be a 45-minute long webinar, apparently. Now, I don't know if you've been to many webinars, but they're not interactive. I normally gate crash Zoom meetings. So get this, a 45-minute. Now this, if Christopher Delgado, we just got to do this, guys, but just imagine that this company is built on 3 things: blockchain technology, liquidity pools, and Bitcoin mining. That means That insurance policy that you've got no proof of, that he claims everything that you invest in is insured, is bullshit. He is going to do a 45-minute Calm the Farm webinar with investors who have invested millions of dollars. We have got investors who have reached out to us, absolutely terrified. Their investments are pending. Pending means goodbye. We have left, on the 23rd, Christopher Delgado is going to calm the farm. And in the meantime, he's probably going to mention that Danny DeHeck and his Avengers are preaching lies about him. And to intimidate us, he's requested that OpenAI hand over all my search data. I mean, for God's sake, ChatGPT, everything that I go into ChatGPT gets fed by open source intelligence. My team of Avengers read every blog that goes out on the internet, and we verify the information. We back up the claims that we've made. That's what we do. And now, what are they alleging here? This is intimidation, and it's funny, hilarious. Now imagine this: a civil case means that they're just saying that we've defamed them. This is not a legal case. If they are doing something with us, we don't believe we've been served or anything properly. It's all stupid stuff. So this is just straight intimidation to shut us up. We will not back down. We don't need to back down. There's a straight line. And if you go straight to the truth, you don't have curly lines. And we've just told the truth. We've exposed this company. We found out that there has been an investigation that's already going. There's 6 different government agencies doing this. There's journalists. I've actually wrote to 70 journalists who are biting at the bit to publish this story. And they're all waiting for probably the indictment before they start publishing. Who do you think is going to get the stamp on it? I've got nothing to lose. So this is 100% intimidation, and it's absolutely laughable. So just imagine this. Imagine this, right? Let's say Bill Gates has developed Microsoft, and I decided to stop using Apple products, God-given Apple products, and I'm going to start using Microsoft to do all my work. Now, I don't like Microsoft. Now, let's just say that I'm not happy. Now, Microsoft, because I started using Microsoft to do all my work, it's actually cost me $500,000. Now, I'm going to go sue Bill Gates, and I'm going to say to Bill Gates in a what do you call it? In a civil court case, that I'm going to sue him for $500,000 because I believe his software has hindered me from making the money I should have made by using potentially Apple products. And I'm going to sue him. So in that court case, I'm going to ask the courts to give me his ChatGPT data so that I can see what he's been searching for and what he's doing, so that I can use that information to actually finish off Bill Gates in the courtroom. That's what this is. So this is the most stupidest thing ever. Now, any company that wants to represent Goliath Ventures will be publicly named and shamed. So this is comical. This is the funniest thing. This made us all laugh. But they're asking for my ChatGPT data so they can probably go into their investors meeting and say, we're going to shut that guy down. Why don't you just show us the books? Why don't you show us the crypto mining? Why don't you show us how you can get 8% return per month from doing liquidity pool trading? Because mathematically, you're a freaking genius. Rather than standing in front of the White House pretending that you're being invited. So if you know Christopher, and you'll know this is a lie, but he bribed people. So Fentanyl Day was held in a dinner at the White House, and he wanted to be at that dinner. So he bribed somebody so he could be there. He said that he would pledge $2 million, pledge, not give, because it's your money, don't forget, if he could be at that dinner. We assume. We don't know the exact facts, or we could be slightly wrong there, so do your own research, and it's just my opinion. I've got to say that. So at the meantime, he's at this dinner. He stands up and does an announcement that he's pledging $2 million to help Fentanyl Day, Drug Day. Next minute, you go to his LinkedIn. Do it now. Go to his LinkedIn and you will see images of the White House and Crypto Day in his post. He's alleging that he was at the White House for Crypto Day. He is alleging that his company has some involvement in crypto. Now, even though crypto has lost $380 billion in one day, that company is doing something that is unheard of. How can they, now hear me out here, because one of my own Avengers questioned my mentality here. If this company is doing what they claim they are saying they're doing, and I've got it wrong, then why is this company not doing YouTube videos, public announcements to calm the farm? Because they have just gone through hell and back over the last 7 days. But instead, he puts out a letter to investors who can secretly go in there. He must be going to tell you guys about who the Fatality, I think it is, Fatality. He's telling people, this is so, I mean, I'm betting, not my life on this, but I'm betting a lot of my everything on this company, aren't I? I mean, what's, first of all, if you're in a courtroom, everyone that's in a courtroom has a motive. What is the Avengers and Danny DeHeck's motive? We don't want mum and dad investors to lose their inheritance. We don't want people in suits, Lamborghinis, go out to flash nightclubs, misleading mum and dad investors. I've had enough, and this is sick. So this company is alleging that it's making money from liquidity pools, blockchain technology, and Bitcoin mining. That's what they're alleging. All right? They have schmoozed with everybody. They've, on their website here, they've got their accomplishments. Ventures, acquisitions, active projects. Have you read this? Have you invested this because your friend invested in it? Well, have you actually read this? One of the people that contact us was, I said to the guy, you are asking all the right questions. He said, I can't believe they told me this, they told me that, they told me this. And I said, you're the only person that I know that haven't just blindly invested in Goliath Ventures because you saw him at some event waving around his flash silk red suit. Read what this website says. It's built on WordPress, which isn't the best. My website's on WordPress, but it's a platform for a technology company to have a WordPress website is unheard of. Come down here and you'll see these photos. These are people that have been endorsing. So here he is on a golf course where he's not allowed in a membership. I know that he doesn't have a membership. The reason he's on this golf course is because he managed to go in there under a name of a charity. So all his boys are lined up in T-shirts. You've got an ex-policeman here called Tomo who's hanging out with Andrew Tate, the Tate brothers, one week, and then got his selfie with Eric Trump the next week, literally. I mean, all these guys, you can tell their undies are too tight. They're pulled right up. But these are people that have been endorsing Christopher and his activities. I heard that this event that they're walking down the stairs to cost $500,000. It was there to schmooze with people. So this event here, all the investors' money went into this event. This is all about schmoozing. This is not, crypto companies do not hold these type of events. They have most of the Ponzi schemes and scams that I promote actually have gala events. They have a big opening. Everyone gets excited. They use that video footage to show everyone how successful they are. This company here has taken it to another level. There's no doubt about it. Look at him. Look at his brochure here. Look, he's wearing a Rolex, a suede jacket, hugging people. This guy used to work at In-N-Out Burger. He used to sell teeth whitening to survive. He was trying to make it big. 3 years ago, this guy had no money. And now he's schmoozing with the big boy. He's telling you he's always had a thing about crypto. Are you telling me when he was working at In-N-Out Burger and brought up in a trailer park that he had a secret wad of Bitcoin? Are you telling me that when he said in a video that he listed two of his companies publicly, that's where he got his money from? Are you telling me that he invested in his own Goliath Ventures, which was set up 20 days after, what's that thing called now? My liquidity pools, an identical structured Ponzi scheme, which was 3 years ago, where the guy that funded that has been jailed, sentenced for 2 years in jail, who now managed to get away to Dubai. Don't ask me how that happened, guys. How embarrassing for the USSS or whoever did it. But these guys literally have carbon copied another scam called My Liquidity Partners. Carbon copied it. Their domain names, even though they're 3 years old, were registered 20 days apart. Now and they're hosted with GoDaddy. So if you've been a GoDaddy accounts, just like they've tried to say to the courts, give over Danny DeHeck's login to his ChatGPT, for God's sake, you will find that it's probably under the same GoDaddy account. Now, my liquidity pool has been busted as a Ponzi scheme and scam. We've got Nick, who's been also associated with another scam, and the company fined that he was the chief guru app for 2.2 million. We've done blogs about this. Remember, this is our 14th. This isn't a blog. This is just me on a Saturday afternoon doing a blog. But these are the guys who he's smoozing with. These are the people he's trying to rub shoulders with. This is on the homepage of his website. Even looks like the waiter. I don't know who that guy is. But, this is what they call themselves, a private equity firm. They have no registrations to do nothing. They are unregulated. They don't have any money handling licenses. They have shut their company. Get this, it gets better, guys. They have shut their company down on the 3rd of September. They closed down Goliath Ventures Inc. It doesn't exist anymore. If you have a contract and it's got Goliath Ventures Inc. on it, and you haven't signed up for a new contract since they opened up in the state of Wyoming, then that contract is worthless. We've done blogs about this. Who are all these people who are endorsing this bad behavior? These are the bad actors of the world. These are the photos of people who have been endorsing him. I know that lawyers have been instructed to take photos off this website. People do not want to be associated with this man. This man is a scammer. And this man is going to do jail time. And so is Tomo, so is Matt Burks, and so is Pierce Curry. We know that you're going to be locked up. And what have you been doing? You've been schmoozing with people, wiggling your way into golf courses where they won't even allow you to have a membership, Christopher. You live a few meters away from your house backs onto this golf course. Try and get yourself a membership. Why don't they want you? Other places that we know are rejecting your call. So what about this? How about these claims?
Goliath Ventures Incorporated is proud to support both local and international charities, communities, and schools. Goliath Ventures Incorporated has donated over $1 million over the past year, and more than $4 million to charitable and community efforts since 2019.
So since 2019, they've given away $4 million. So we reached out to all these charities. One of these charities, which I won't name, contacted us and said, we've never received a donation from Goliath Ventures Inc. A few minutes later, we received another email from the same organization. They said we did find a donation of $300 given 2 years ago. So they said we had received a donation. Here, he's claiming to have given away $4 million to charitable charities, and this was here before Veteran Day. So he meant to have pledged $2 million to be given away. So this is what is happening, guys. So this WordPress website, and also remember, this website used to be able to allow you to log into it, and they've taken that login off the screen. So if you want to go there, I believe it is something like CR. Let's see if I can get it. Go CR, there it is there. So you have to go CRM. So if you are a customer and you're trying to log in here, so if we log in here now, we use Christopher at Goliath Ventures Inc. because he's an investor of his own company, because his company was so damn good. He invested his own money in his own company, and then he decided, after he publicly listed the 2 companies that he didn't name, he decided to invest in his own company because he wants everyone to have a passive income. So there you go. So how's that? So I've just managed to go to their system. Now, the platform that he's using costs $200 a month. We researched the platform that they're using. If you want to do stuff like that, you can go inspect the code, and you can come in here and you can actually read the code of the website, because I'm a website developer as well. You can go into the console and you can actually find the company that they use to manage their fake, totally fake keep an eye on your, so you can come through here and you can actually find the company that is behind the software they're using to make it stroke your ego when you log in and see how much money you theoretically made. All this is smoke and mirrors technology. This company is a fraud, and I'm happy to call it out as a fraud. My reputation's on the line. I've got better things to do with my time. I certainly have, but this one we have nailed at home. But come on, guys, when a company is trying to intimidate the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger by closing down his Instagram, his TikTok, and my Reddit account, and sending me 100 emails every day telling me that they want me to shut down the page on my website that's exposing this company. So I've set up a whole page called Goliath Ventures. In here, we label everything I've just talked about: liquidity pools, obvious Ponzi schemes, $4 million worth of sports cars, delaying people from getting payments out from 90 to 100 days, charging fees for people who have got their money trapped in the system, allowing people only to withdraw their principal and not the profits that they would claim they were going to get, telling people they can get 4 to 8% profit per month is ridiculous, giving backhanders for referrals, working and flipping out burgers. These are my liquidity partners, MLP. This Nick guy, he's in deep. He just tried to get a video removed off my website the other day, which he didn't. So if you want to know my story about Nick, you can go to my YouTube account, go into my live section. Why don't I show you? So Nick's desperately trying to clean up the footprints. This is what happens when I go to my YouTube channel. I think I just saw it there. So see this here? Your video was removed due to a copyright removal because they just keep giving me copyright strikes. This is as good as you've got. Nothing's going to stop me in the Avengers. Asking ChatGPT for my search logs. What do you think? I made this all up with ChatGPT? And this is all for intimidation. These lawyers here, if you're going to use a lawyer, look at the lawyers that requested this information. Would you put your name and your reputation? This Oliver Berman guy, I mean, who is this guy? He's a young lawyer. What is his involvement? So here's our guy here. Right, so this is the guy who is requested that ChatGPT hand over my login details in a civil case. Would you use Oliver? Would you use Oliver? Look at him, he looks like he's 10 years old. Would you use this guy to do your legal stuff? What type of lawyer would say to a Christopher, hey, why don't we ask for his ChatGPT data and his X data? I don't even use Twitter very much. I mean, really? So let's have a read about Oliver while we've got him here.
Oliver Berman is a partner in PBYA's litigation division. Oliver focuses his litigation in the areas of general commercial, all varieties of insurance disputes, from the policyholder and insurance company's perspective, partnership disputes, probate litigation, and breaches of fiduciary duties. Oliver started his career defending insurance companies in first-party property insurance disputes. Beginning in 2018, Oliver joined PBYA and has handled a wide range of business disputes, from internal ownership disputes to defamation and tortious interference with prospective business.
Now, think about this. This guy handles disputes with insurance companies. Well, he'll be the man that you want to employ because remember, Christopher Delgado, whatever his name is, and Goliath Ventures have an insurer. Somebody has insured a crypto company who does liquidity pools, crypto mining, and blockchain technology. Christopher doesn't know the arse end of blockchain for a start. So those three things there are the most high-risk investments ever. Now, if Andrew Tate, which Christopher was on Andrew Tate's, seminar, he must have joined his gentleman club because it's all about the boys, This is the sad thing. I mean, I don't even know how to begin with this next statement. Think about this. So you've got, first of all, we've got Andrew Tate, right? So let's go to Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate hired these three, I presume it was Andrew Tate, and you've got this video here that in the first 4 days it was published, had 1.2 million people view it. Now, and that was on September the 27th. So nearly 3 weeks ago, this video was released, and within 1 or 2 days, it had 1.2 million views. Now, it's got 1.3 million views. What does that tell you? Does it sound like that this is promoted? This guy here, that's Tomo. And in here, if you go along to this part here, I think it's about an hour 17 in. We're going to go back. Can you go back one frame at a time? We'll just see if we can. Okay, so there's Tomo and there's Christopher on his boat. So this is promoting what we call the War Room. And the War Room is a gentleman's club. And just remember the topic of this. We've got Romo here hanging out with 2 guys that have been accused of heinous acts against drugging and raping women. And we just showed you about 10 different news outlets from Bloomberg to the New York Times that have been reporting on that. Romi is hanging out with Christopher. So they go to the next thing here, and you've got photos of Romi hanging out with Christopher. So what's the connection? You can do your own judgment on. Here's a photo with Andrew Tate, and he's promoting the War Room. So this is a gentleman's club where these gentlemen all have anonymous, blurred out faces. I mean, what circles are these guys hanging out with? Are any of these guys hanging out with these guys? And why do we need a gentleman? Why isn't there a Charlie's Angels girls club? And why are these guys, 99% of modern day men will never experience the power of the brotherhood and the community? So why are these organizations all doing the brotherhood things, and they're showing how fierce and, you know, how wonderful they are and all this sort of carry on? I'll just get rid of a screen that just popped up. So why is that? Why is this club? So here's Andrew Tate promoting this. But this morning, Andrew Tate did a video, which I thought was quite good. In here, he's basically telling people that crypto is going to go down to 20. Listen to this.
Why is it going down? Who's selling? Who's the bear? I've looked at the angles on the chart, and I don't know why it's still going down. Let me tell you why it's going down. It's going down because you think it won't. So everyone's max longing. Because the market's become super volatile, most people have lost all of their money, so everyone's like, well, it can't go any lower. Let me just borrow some money, and let me max long and make it all back in one trade. Let me tell you a secret of the universe. Everything can always get worse. You could lose your entire family in a car crash, and it could be the worst day of your life. And on your way to the morgue to identify the bodies, you could also get in a car crash and lose a leg. And then on your way to the hospital, the ambulance could crash and lose a hand. And then when you're recovering with no family and no hand and no leg, you get an infection. Because the cleaner who cleans the hospital decided to not clean your room so they could go home early. It can always get worse. The price can always go lower. The more you believe that the price isn't going to dump, so you should borrow a bunch of money to max long, because we're at the bottom. The more you believe this is a sure thing, it's going to be fine, the more fucked you are. It can always get worse. And it will continue to get worse until all of the optimism is gone, until all the longs have stopped being placed, till everyone's out of money, till nobody's going to profit. And once that is in place, once nobody is going to make it all back with one trade, once everybody's lost all their fucking money, then we go to all-time high. That's the way the universe works.
All right. So Christopher, theoretically, has actually joined the War Room, and those yachts that we showed you are all ran by the Tate brothers. I'm not sure. I'm not a member. But let's just say that you believe in Andrew Tate, because Tomo and Christopher went on his 3 cruise ships with 50 other guys that are in those circles that you see. And these same guys, wonder if Oliver's... Oliver's requesting my ChatGPT logs to intimidate me. Is that the best you can do, Oliver? Come on. And here you are partying with all these men. What have we got going on here? There's the history of Christopher with my liquidity partners. My liquidity partner, otherwise known as NLP. And there's Nick. Nick's tried to get the video removed. I'm getting copyright strikes from people, and I've had 5 in the last, I think it's probably 4 days now. 5 in the last 4 days, and 3 and your YouTube's off. And here I am broadcasting live at the moment. Isn't that crazy? How am I getting protected? Who's looking after Danny the Heck? Is it the Avengers? And then we've got silly lawyers like Oliver Burman, who looks like he's just out of school, trying to protect people like Goliath Ventures. That's going to be fun. So we read about him. So he can help defending insurance companies. Well, maybe you might want to defend. So just to put it in perspective, you've got Christopher, who claims his business is built on the crypto. You've got him joining exclusive clubs that are ran by Andrew Tate, or the Tate brothers, if you've ever done a research on them, who claims that Bitcoin is going to be worth a quarter of the price. Now, how do you think Christopher is going to address people on the 23rd of October? What is he going to tell people? Oh, don't worry. We haven't actually been investing in crypto. We've actually just been running a Ponzi scheme. And the way we're going to survive, of all those people that have just lost $380 billion, is how we're going to survive is we're going to need new investors. Who's got money to invest in Goliath Ventures Inc. now? Put your hand up. Anyone want to put their hand up? Who do you think is going to be stupid enough to come along and put millions of dollars into Goliath Ventures Inc. to prop it up, to keep the Ponzi scheme going? How is Christopher going to sustain himself? Now, let's just say he has got you guys insured. All right? He has got you guys insured with an insurance company that was going to go bankrupt. Because if everyone lost all their money with Goliath, can the insurance company that you don't know the name of able to ditch him out of what's going down with crypto at the moment? The biggest loss in history of crypto, $380 billion. And Christopher's going to say, don't worry, guys, we've got ourselves spread out pretty good. Blockchain technology, liquidity pools, and Bitcoin mining. Nothing to do with crypto. We're good. Oh, all right, you get me. And don't worry, bought some acquisitions. So go read through the WordPress website. Check out the people that have been backing this scammer. Go and ask the charities just how much money did they really get from Christopher, because we got one telling us he got $300. We've got another one where he stood up in the White House and obviously said he's going to pledge, not give, pledge $2 million to Fentanyl Day through Jackie Segal's charity, I believe. Oh, my God. And all they can do is give us copyright strikes and ask ChatGPT to hand over my data. I mean, for God's sake, guys. I mean, at what point does stupid on stupid doesn't... what's sad is people like Mr... let's just go for Oliver, who seem like respectable individuals are now caught up in the mess. And that's the same. In our next video, we're actually going to go after an alleged New Zealand company that might be going in battle with Goliath. And that there is going to be something. I mean, I've been sued a couple of times and I won last time, but I get a lot of cease and desist letters. Like I said at the beginning, I've got 5 lawsuits at the moment. You might think I'm reckless, but I'm brave because I'm taking on these companies and these people who have stolen $1 million, and it just goes on and on and on. But we are going to start naming and shaming these companies that take them on. So intimidation, for me, asking ChatGPT for my search data is laughable. I don't have any secrets. If you tell the truth, you have nothing to worry about. Now, just imagine if ChatGPT did decide to hand over my data to a lawyer firm which is doing a civil case. It's like, I remember there was something went down with Apple and somebody had their phone locked and they subpoenaed Apple to unlock that person's cell phone so they could get the criminal data off the phone. And Apple said they can't do that because of privacy, blah, blah, blah. And there was no way in hell anyone could get this phone unlocked. And the FBI, whoever it was that was trying to unlock the cell phone, had got it down to 9 attempts. And one more attempt and that phone would be locked and lost forever. And it had critical data. Even Apple would not have unlocked that phone. So to ask ChatGPT to hand over my data is nothing but intimidation. And that's what it is. And it's laughable. Even providing a service for people. So Susie's actually got a good comment here, which is reading across the screen here. So providing a service to a dubious business enterprise from Wyoming while he's just doing his job is being used to, I can't even read that word. I know the word you're saying. I'm going to, oh, here we go. Let's get it read. That might help me out. Sorry about this, guys. Let's see if we can get this read out.
Providing a service to a nebulous business enterprise from Wyoming, while he's just doing his job, is he being used to proliferate bad business?
Yeah. You know, it is actually breathtaking. I mean, I've had probably the most stressful week I've had for a while. You know, like my livelihood is going to be YouTube, and I want people to join my YouTube channel and help me out. I mean, if you haven't joined my YouTube channel, it's a big button underneath the video you're watching right now. Just click it, join, $1 a month. It's not going to break your bank, but it will help me. So please do join, you know, and help support me in what I do. But just like those 60 women that have come forth claiming that they had claiming rape allegations to the Alexander brothers, that would have taken immense effort for 60 women. One of the scams I'm busting, to give you an example, 11,000 people lost money to a Ponzi scheme and scam by a guy that I'm going after at the moment called Stephen McCullough. I had 42 people that were willing to put their name and testify in court if necessary to prove that they were deceived and they had their money stolen. 42 people. So 42 people out of 11,000 people. Everyone knew that I was doing videos on it, but do the maths on that. So if 60 women have come forth claiming that they had been sexually assaulted by these Alexander brothers, then who knows how many women they really have got away with hurting. So I'm just one YouTuber with a team of Avengers who fight like dirty dogs and do everything legally and follow everything as we can. You know, we're a small team, but we have a mighty voice. And we need your help. You know, we're fighting the world's some of the worst gangsters out there. You know, and I'm driving the bus, and I also get hit by the bus every now and again. So help me help you. Let's see if we can clean up some of the crypto scams. And as for Goliath Ventures, well, there's no crypto going on there. It's a straight Ponzi scheme. I did have a funny comment on one of my videos. A lot of people now I'll tell you something else that you may have not actually noticed in this document. But in this document, down the bottom here, they've got exhibits, and they actually have asked for specific names. So these names are not by me, but these names are to intimidate people for speaking up. So these are names of all the people in the search results that they want. Now, I'm not going to go down even more. You can find this yourself, but they have actually asked, because what they're basically doing this for is they're saying to people, if you speak out to Danny, we're going to come after you. So stop speaking to Danny. So it's ironic that when I talked about their meeting that they're having on the 23rd of October, and we said that we have full access to that meeting, and we're thinking, well, now they've got to bluff, don't they? Do we carry on running the meeting in the company like we are a proper legitimate Ponzi scheme? Or do we not have that meeting because Danny DeHeck and his Avengers are going to have access to that meeting and broadcast the meeting notes? We've done it before. They've even tried doing a copyright strike on the content where we exposed them doing it last time. That video is still active on the internet. If you want to ask us, and remember, we are broadcasting live on LinkedIn, Kick, Twitter, Rumble, and Twitter. Did I say Twitter? 6 different agencies at the same time right now. So that's what we're doing. But I just think that is a crack up that they're trying to intimidate us. They're trying to intimidate people for speaking out. Now, we do look after our informants 100%. The intel that we've got has literally blown me away lately. But don't underestimate the power of these idiots. This law firm, this Oliver, is a mental nutcase job. He must have just come out of law school to actually try to intimidate somebody by claiming that they have rights to get documentation from ChatGPT. The whole world would fall over if ChatGPT handed over my private searches on people in their company that I've been exposing as running Ponzi schemes and scams. I mean, one of the ones that come to mind is Matt Burks. I mean, he was meant to be doing an independent audit for Goliath Ventures Inc. His independent audit is actually for a company called Black Block, not to be mistaken for Black Block. What was it? Black Lock? Black Rock. Black Lock, Block. Anyway, now that company's been merged into, so the independent company that he was the founder of, he did an independent audit for Goliath Ventures. Now, Goliath Ventures have said that Black Block has merged itself into Goliath Ventures, and also Wealth Management MD, Wealth Management Doctors, Wealth MD, which is another company out there, very similar name. But remember, if you put mywealthmd.com, you'll find their website. And the same with Black Block. You have to put myblackblock.com to find the website. But apparently, I don't even know if we can do that. So My Black Block, this company was meant to be independent, even though it's a WordPress website that's set up looking like a templated website. And then if you go to another one called Wealth MD, Wealth MD, is that it? Yep, there it is. So these are two websites that look very similar, and they were literally going after people's money. So this is a video of a lady who's wondering what to do with her retirement money.
For several years before.
For several years, I've tried to find somewhere I could put my money, and they were in the meeting that we showed them at the start. The video that we did, they were telling people how to avoid elderly abuse claims. And then I found this website, and here they are going after the elderly people's retirement funds. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, long story short, this My Black Block company that was doing the independent audit for Goliath Ventures is Matt Burke. Matt Burke is actually a minister or a parish, and he's now been removed as the parish of their website because we went and asked them, did you realize that Matt is promoting Black Block, and he's a big auditor who can do a audit on a company that allegedly gave away $100 million in 2024. His words, not mine. So it's absolutely crazy. I mean, I think I've done my dash. If you want to support us and you are an investor, please reach out to us. We'll keep it confidential. We're actually after more contracts. We want as many as we can get. If you do have access to their meeting on the 23rd, hey, give us another login. That would be great. We could do more than 2 or 3 of them just for backups. And if they do run that meeting, I'll eat my hat. And if you are using ChatGPT, maybe be concerned that that if you take on Goliath Ventures, they may actually put out a document claiming that they want your data. Because that is the funniest thing and the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's 2 hours and 2 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Thank you so much for everyone that's been here in the chat room. I know it's been a bit of a long one. Please do join the YouTube channel. It would help me out. I don't get paid for doing this, but I do have a burning desire to name and shame any individuals that's running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. And that is what Christopher has been doing from Goliath Ventures Inc. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great evening, morning, or day. Thanks for watching.